The dark night of the soul teaches you a lot, and one of the most significant lessons is the lesson in humility. And interestingly, I've never really considered myself to be particularly arrogant, although I knew that I had behaviors that, you could say were fairly arrogant. But in general, I thought I was humble. And also, based on the interactions with others, I think that they found me pretty okay in that regard. But the dark night of the soul showed me precisely, or more clearly, that I was actually being arrogant. And even assuming that basically what's better for you, I realized that actually that's also pretty arrogant, because in the past, when I was younger, there were a lot of things that actually I could make happen. So basically I had a plan, I had a dream. I started doing many different things that would allow me to make that dream come true. And it did come true. Not everything, happened in the most perfect way. But basically, I thought that I was able to do practically everything, or a lot of things. But the dark night of the soul showed me the opposite, because I was trying, the strategies that proved successful in the past. And, during the dark night of the soul, they turned out to be useless, the majority of them. So basically that showed me that I'm not so omnipotent, if you will, or omnipotent. So, basically, that was my big lesson. And when it comes to my career, well, it was one of those areas where I felt really successful. Not that I was, any type of big fish or God knows what, but basically I really enjoyed my career. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I was doing it with passion. And I can say that my friends told me that, you really got it right. I can tell that you love your job so much. And basically, what is it that you do? That it's just so perfect. And, I would give advice, if somebody asks me, oh, can you please help me with my CV or with my LinkedIn profile, because basically you're just doing well in that area. And I was very happy to help, and I was thinking, yeah, I've nailed it. I'm feeling pretty successful. And the dark night of the soul took that away from me. I'm not going to go into any details right now, but maybe I will record an episode on that. But basically, it was taken away from me. And for many, many years, I just loved that area so much. And basically, it disintegrated. So it also taught me humility, because I also saw that I was being arrogant actually in that area, because I was objectively good at what I was doing, and it was not only my opinion. But I can say that I felt better than other people. That is not to say that my area of expertise was actually good, and I was competent, but at the same time, yes, I was feeling arrogant. I must say that. So basically, the fact that something that I thought was working so well was actually taken away from me, that taught me a big lesson, and I had to learn it the hard way. And I must say that I'm feeling much more humble today. I don't want to say that, these days I'm so humble that basically everybody can learn from me. That doesn't sound humble, right? No, I wouldn't say that I'm a paragon of virtue and I'm the most humble person in the world, but basically the level of humility in my life has risen. So, yeah, that was actually the effect of the dark night of the soul, but it wasn't a nice lesson because I landed on my knees for so many times that, well, I just didn't see that coming, really. So yes, if things don't go your way, you can use them. You can use this experience to stay humble and to trust life, to admit that actually maybe I don't know what's best for me. And just admit it to yourself that yes, I was being arrogant, thinking that actually that thing was good for me, and like I wanted that thing because I was sure that it would give me A, B, or C, and life can tell you no, that's not for you. I'm not going to give it to you because like you don't see the whole picture and it's just not right. And I can see it now, and I admitted that I was being arrogant, and basically I trust life. Very often, easier said than done. But that's why I believe that we are also going through the dark night of the soul so that we don't have excuses anymore. Basically, if life doesn't give you what you want, or if like your strategies stop working, why? Because you finally need to understand that there is something that knows better than you. There is something that sees the whole picture, that understands all the connections, that has like this bird's eye view. And it's not easy to let it go. It's not easy, like to trust it because oh, what is it? And if this force doesn't exist, like I have to do it. I think it was Alan Watts who came up with this beautiful term, the poor little me. And you really need to let go of this poor little me. And I must say that as I'm still going through the dark night of the soul, this poor little me is still active, and I can sense it. And every now and then it's like, hey, okay, another problem. Another problem. So yeah, that's the nature of the poor little me. But I have a strong feeling that when you make friends with a poor little me, and when you potentially let it go, like, hey, poor little me, we just don't need to cooperate anymore. I appreciate you. You really wanted, the best for me. You had your little strategies and you really wanted to have control over my life. But you know what? It's just not working anymore. And you're in my heart. I really love you. Thank you for being with me. But, it's just not going to work. We need to finish, our contract, our cooperation. Yeah, something like that, something along these lines. Anyway, if you're going through the dark night of the soul, just use this opportunity to embrace humility, to see the beauty of humility, because I think that it's just so powerful when you see somebody humble. There is so much dignity about it, so much dignity. And I believe it's very beautiful. And humility is underrated. It's usually quiet, but there is so much strength in it. It's unbelievable. And sometimes we just need to literally fall on our knees. Things just don't go our way. And I'm pretty sure that at some point in your life, you're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I've learned this lesson. Yeah, so yes. Humility, that's the word for today, for this episode. As usual, I encourage you to share your experiences in the comment section. And yes, that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time.